This week, Brandon and I recap our special trip to Goose Island. This is episode 80 of the Malting Hour.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's bees. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. We're recording this on a Saturday night. We had a fun. You know what? I'm just gonna say this entire week has been pretty good for me in general. I just felt like it was a good week. We had. I mean, why we're doing this episode is that we had a really fun time at Goose Island. It was the first time that we had been invited to a media event, so that's why we're doing this episode. But last night was pretty good. Friday night was nice. Even though it was raining, I went and grabbed a mixed 4-pack from Beer on the Wall, got some new beers, and then today in Chicago, it was 82 degrees, man.
Ridiculous.
Fantastic. A little taste of summer, you know? Kind of nice for April.
Yeah, I got to take my kid to it. It was funny because when I was looking at the temperature and we were buying tickets to take him to his first movie, I was like, it's going to be 80 degrees and we're going to sit in the movie theater. But
we're going to the movies.
We got it, like, it was a 10:30 movie. We were out at noon. And then we decided to take a little day trip over to Hubbard's Cave and go and have lunch there. And it was stellar. Service was awesome, like just the ease of ordering and just the ambiance of the place, just super chill. They got board games and everything, and like, very cool spot. Would love to go back there. I know we've talked about this before. Definitely a place that we need to have on an episode in the future. But just super good food, man. Like, and I was so torn because I went in there thinking, I'm getting brisket. And
yeah, that's my thought anytime I go to a barbecue spot.
Then,
I'm getting brisket.
And then we walked in and I was looking at the menu and my wife's like, oh, I don't want chicken wings. I wanted the chicken sandwich. I was like, wait, they got chicken wings? So I looked at it. I was like, pickled brined wings? And I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And
yeah, that sounds amazing.
It like you could taste the smoke and you could taste the pickle. Like it was like, that brine worked well. Very, very good combination. And then my kid got to have his buttered noodles. But when the server brought it out, he goes, the server brings it out and goes, who ordered the greasy noodles? And I'm like, it's on the kids menu, man. Like, who do you think is eating a bowl of awesome. Just buttered macaroni noodles? Like, yeah, good time.
Let me get some of them greasy noodles, man.
And then we took a walk in like Caldwell Woods.
Oh, nice.
Went over there, saw that the river was extremely engorged.
Engorged, what a great...
Like, there was huge puddles, like, throughout the park. Like, the walking path was fine. Then we got to, like, the bridge to see the river, and it was moving rapidly, and it was just, like... It was, like, literally, like, 3 or 4 times, like, the width that it normally is.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, you know, we're trying to hold an almost 3-year-old back from, like... looking at everything. Becca's like, oh my God, he's going to go over the edge. I'm like, I don't think so, but I'm being cautious and I'm holding his hand every time. Like he'd be like, no, let go. And I'd go run and I'd be like, no. Yeah, good times.
You know what we need to do? Uncle Tony and Papa Brandon need to take your son on a nature hike like that one day as he gets a little older. Just walk around the woods like we did when we went camping, man. I mean, that was so much fun.
Heck yeah, man.
Love that nature stuff, man.
Or maybe we'll just all go camping together one day.
Yeah, the three of us, the 3 dudes.
Three amigos.
He might need to, I mean, if I was such a wimp about sleeping in the tent the way I was, I mean, we might need to wait till he's a little older or, you know, just get a cabin.
Well, like when I was a kid, like I didn't have a problem with it because sleeping
same here.
Sleeping on the ground didn't hurt my back. And I remember as a kid sleeping, just throw down the sleeping bag, lay down, and I was fine.
Yeah, same here, man. I don't know how my parents did it because they definitely didn't have like, not definitely, but I'm pretty sure they didn't have like a blow up mattress. Like when Laura and I would go camping, we got a blow-up mattress. She doesn't even do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I had a blow-up mattress, and we never blew it up ahead of time, and I tried to blow it up at 2 o'clock in the morning when you asked for my car keys. I was like, I got it halfway blown up.
I had enough.
I had it halfway blown up, and I just folded it on top of itself, and I just balanced myself the rest of the night. Had a good core workout.
I know we're already doing the trip up to New Glarus, but we probably should do another camping episode this year.
Oh, yeah. But, so here's what I would say. If we did do something that has cabins, let's just go the cabin route.
Absolutely. I think we just get, like, this way, neither, like, we can just pass out whenever. So, and if someone's like, hey, man, I'm going to bed, you're just going to sleep in the bunk bed.
Yeah.
You can have dibs on top bunk if you want. But then I can just, sit out front with the bottle of Buffalo Trace.
So, I don't know if you remember this, but when we were booking this trip, I had told you, hey, there's a cabin available. Did you want to get that? And you said, no, man, we're camping, man. We need the tent.
I know. I don't know why. I mean, I wanted to do it. And then I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way of I don't like sleeping on the ground. I thought
in my brain, I'm like, this is
a sleeping bag would have been enough.
This would be fun, but,
Yeah, no, totally.
Noted.
Yeah, it did not, whatever. This isn't the camping recap episode. Hey, man, so we're doing this episode because you and I got a chance to be a part of the Chicago media crew for a special invitation to Goose Island, something that you and I have wanted to do, throw in Clark and Dan in there as well. I know all of us have wanted to get in touch with Goose Island and talk to them about their beers. I mean, we featured Bourbon County and numerous. I mean, we're still in the middle of doing the media kit, which, by the way, you and I need to talk about because Clark says he's ready to book the 3rd episode.
Oh, good.
But yeah, that's good. Thank you. He's busy. He's busy being hockey dad. He posted a picture of a beer, I think Friday night, and said "Hockey Dad beer," and I said, "Dude, you got to brew a beer." And the next beer that you brew should be called like Hockey Dad beer. Just a beer that is, he's a hockey dad. He's a hockey dad, so he's got to be there for all the games.
And if it's a Hockey Dad beer, it has to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
be a pilsner.
Have little results.
It's got to be a 4.5% to 5% pilsner.
That cost him like $200 to brew.
Yeah, exactly. Or a pale ale, something like that. But no, we got invited. And it was super cool because we got to experience what it's like to be basically a part of the Chicago craft beer media. We've been doing this podcast now for are we in year 3 now, right? Yeah.
Well, we started
this is year 3.
Yeah.
Technically 2019.
Yes.
Technically.
Officially started in 2019. Started doing test recording in 2018.
Right. Oh, man.
But I think that's
pandemic.
The intro.
Pandemic really fucked with my brain.
The intro might be from 2018, I think, actually.
Yes, the intro needs to be updated, which I said I was going to do, and eventually I will do that. But, this is something we wanted to be a part of, and we got invited, and it was super cool because we got to sit with a bunch of other Chicago craft beer media people, people that you guys would definitely know if you follow Chicago craft beer, and we get to sample through Goose Island's Beer Hug family, their IPA family, which is now a regular release. No, it's not a seasonal at all. It's just that's a part of their lineup there. We also got to try 3 of the shandies. They started doing the shandy last year, which is very good. They added 2 more to a mix pack this year. And then we were treated to 3 barrel-aged beers. And then after that, we got a special sneak peek of a collaboration with microphones. So before we get into all that, let's talk about how the night went, man. I mean, you and I, we had the idea to go there a little bit early because we like to be on time for things. And we had 2 beers, which we've learned our lesson. You don't need to have 2 beers before a media event with Goose Island because they are going to provide plenty of beers for you to try out.
Well, so to kind of put it in perspective, when like we're not going there drinking full beers, it was samples the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
If we would have had one beer before, okay, maybe. We had two, so we were like, and the only reason we had one, or well, the first one was because they had Honker's Ale,
which we both just were floored by.
Yeah, and that was our first time being back at the brew pub in years, and them having it on tap. And from what I've heard, it's been kind of a rotating thing there, kind of regularly, but now they're doing more of a Chicago-wide release, which I think it was before, right? Wasn't it just like Chicago only?
Yeah.
So it's a fucking phenomenal beer, and they are pushing it out more, and they are, I think they said 11 bars in Chicago are going to be carrying Honker's Ale for, I mean, I don't know about, I'm not going to say like the foreseeable future, but they're definitely going to be doing it for a while. And when we came in, we sat, we were met by a host, and we told him that we were here for a beer event. We wanted to, maybe sit down at the bar and have one. He goes, "Oh yeah, I have one or two. Then go to your event, come back and have one or two more." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, guy. Nah.
I thought
he was awesome, man. He was
super cool. I was like, "Okay, one or two before, that's fine." I was like, "I don't know about after," and especially after what we were treated to. I would not have gone back to the bar.
No, and then the beer that we followed up, he did suggest after Honker's Ale was After Hours, which was their Bach, the single Bach. It says traditional, which if anyone's following me on social media, I have been on a dark lager Bach kick for a few weeks now, and I think this comes after I had said on an episode, look, I don't like lagers, and I really am not a huge fan, but it's like the cosmos, the beer gods have looked down, arranged the cosmos to point me in the right direction of lagers that I would like, because in the last 3 weeks I've had some Bach, some lagers that have just been really good, and After Hours was no exception, man. It was really, really good. It was a great way to follow up Honkers.
Yeah, which is why, like, last night I was looking for something to drink, and I found my Old Irving's Life's Blood. I was like, "Ooh, I've got that."
Dude, I when I saw that you had that, I was so jealous because I drank that, I think, the weekend after we had done the episode. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when I started realizing, when, dark lagers or Bachs come out, I might want to have them.
Yeah, and I've never expressed this, but I've always been a huge, like, if it's a Bach, like, I've always been into Bachs. Like, Bach is like Bach. My, yeah. We got to brew I'll be Bach.
That's actually, that's an untapped badge. I'll be Bach.
Good.
But we should, I do want to do that. I did tell Myke that that's the style I want to brew with him soon. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, so like I've realized for a while that like Bachs and like darker lagers are something that I enjoy, because like even getting into the German styles of the darker lagers, I, as much as I enjoy like the clean ones, like that the darker stuff is just like, it's got so much flavor.
I feel like it's the malty sweetness that draws me in, because it's the malty sweetness and then it's still clean and refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it and you don't get any hop bitterness. You don't get any like. There's no. I mean, I've never had any with like any weird astringency or like metallic taste. Like.
Yeah, you don't get that. The
weird stuff that you get in these higher ABV beers, like, never shows up here.
The one I had last night from Beguile was their Fodder, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, Doppelbock. It was. I'd like to get more of it because it's kind of a beer I want to keep in my fridge and share with people. It was 8%. There was like this almost like chocolatey malty sweetness to it, and it's oak aged. And it was 8%, and it was the one beer I had last night, and man, it was so good. It was so good.
Interesting.
Like I'm there are like Dovetail's Vienna style lager I could probably drink all the time. That Doppelbock, that's like almost like drinking a barrel aged beer for me. It doesn't have the same I don't know. It's not like a real barrel aged beer, but like it was sweet and rich, but also
It's got that
still.
body.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would have been a fun beer for you and I to split in. Maybe I need to go back to Beer on the Wall this week and see if I can grab it.
I mean, and that's kind of the thing with like anything that uses, I think it's a fodder, but doing that, like giving that barrel characteristic. I mean, that's kind of what we enjoy. There's a little bit, with the stouts. Usually, there's some more thickness, but we've learned, like especially with the Lake Effect Percolator collab, like doesn't need to be that thick to be that high in ABV.
By the way, I don't know if it's my microphone or your microphone. I'm pretty sure it's my microphone. But since we've started recording, I don't know if it's going to come through the recording. There have been like you can tell it's I think it's still like 78 degrees in Chicago right now. I've heard cars driving by very fast, and right now I hear sirens. I feel like this is a like bad portrayal of New York in the 90s,
which is weird because I'm not hearing it.
It's my recording. Yeah. I hope people can hear it. Sorry, it's kind of a distraction for me because now I hear sirens. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I forgot what I was
They're
gonna
not
say.
close. It's just
should I look up the Citizens app, see what's going on?
No, see what's going on. But sorry. Yeah, I didn't know you had that affinity for the dark lagers as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like the light ones, but I go to the traditional styles. So I will drink the light ones. I love the light ones. Like I loved Hofbrauhaus when it was nearby, and
German style lagers for me is another story. The Helles lager from Dovetail is.
Yeah, and the whole thing with like the German style lagers, like in Munich, and this is something like Becca and I both experienced. Like, we've drank Hofbrauhaus beers here in the States, and I've gotten pretty messed up and felt pretty wasted. But out there, dude, we were drinking a lot, and we were both like not super messed up, like felt good, but like not super messed up, like not, and we didn't feel crappy the next morning. We both woke up like, because it's like so champs. Super clean, man. Like, that's why one day we have to go to Munich.
Absolutely. That is, I want to say that's our 2023 plan for the malting hour, and me and you just taking a trip and going over there. Let's say we got to do it by 2024 for sure.
Okay. I'm down.
For sure, we got to do it by 2024. I don't know why 2024, but I feel like that's we can realistically reach that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about these beers we got to try at Goose Island, man. That was so much fun. Also, real quick, Brandon, what are you drinking right now? Because we're not drinking the beers that we had that night, although that was the original plan. I did buy the IPA one, and I'm this close to buying. I think I'm going to buy the Shandy mix pack tomorrow, so I will give you at least one of each from all of those, buddy.
Noted. I am currently drinking the Brickstone 15, aged 18 months in their bourbon barrels. In the Blatton barrels. Ooh. And 13% ABV.
Fantastic. Well, I decided to go with you and I were talking before we started recording. It actually might have been recorded, but we're not using it. I had this is more of an after the final pour for me because it's been a nice day. I did some work in the yard and cleaned my grill and grilled some food, and I had a bunch of really fun beers, and I decided to top off this evening with a 2021 Bourbon County brand stout. Just straight up OG stout, and it's delicious, and slowly but surely enjoying it while we're doing this. I figure it made sense to drink a Goose Island beer while we're talking about Goose Island.
Yeah, I was this close to cracking one of the Shamrock Shakes that I had, but I was like, no.
Dude, wait, you've got more than one Shamrock Shake?
I bought two. I told you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to drink that one that you and I bought.
Yeah, I mean, I was assuming we'd probably drink them both.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah, both, but not at the same time, right?
Yeah. I kind of want to let one sit for a little.
We're both going to drink 20
I kind of want one to sit a little bit longer.
That's a good idea.
Because it was about this time last year that we had. It was like one of the first times we got together. So yeah, soon we'll have that one. And then maybe in the summer we'll crack the other one, see how it's doing.
I was gonna say let's drink one soon.
Yeah.
And then maybe save one for like around Christmas time. Man.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a chocolate mint. That sounds fantastic.
See how it's
I
doing.
can't imagine. Yeah. Well, let's see how we'll drink one soon.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes. And then if it works out, maybe we make it a Christmas beer to throw into the mix.
Yeah.
Man, mint sounds good. Chocolate mint. All right, so we got invited to Goose Island to talk about some beers. We're gonna run through some of these beers that we got to try. And Brandon, I'm just gonna read a little bit of what they were. When it was in the beginning, when we sat down, they gave us a pour of Honker's Ale, which was nice because we had just had Honkers and the Bach beforehand. So we had another Honkers during this. But in the beginning, they treated us to the Beer Hug family, and the Beer Hug family is their IPA, like their new IPA branding. And so you may have seen Beer Hug, Neon Beer Hug, and Tropical Beer Hug for sure. Those have been the two. Tropical Beer Hug's the big one. That's like the 9.9% that I don't think we ever posted about it, but I did text you and Clark one day about it. Like, this is creepily easy drinking for 9.9%, and they sell them in the big cans too, like the 19.2 whatever ounce cans. Might be a little. I actually don't know the measurement of how many ounces. It's the big cans, and they're like
19.6, I believe.
Yeah, you might be right. It's like it's $2 for $6 at our local grocery store, Jewel. So that's kind of insane. But the 4 mix pack they just started releasing this year is Neon Beer Hug, which is I think 6.6%, and it's an IPA with Nugget, Citra, and Mosaic. Tropical Beer Hug we were just talking about is the 9.9, the Imperial IPA that has Strata and Zaka hops. Then they did their Hazy Beer Hug that has Nelson Sauvignon, Amarillo Galaxy. That one to me was the first time I got to try it, and for me, that might have been maybe one of my favorites for the night. I think maybe I don't remember what we put on the post, but that one was really good. Especially we discussed shelf stability for hazy IPAs, and there have been other bigger craft beer companies who put out hazy IPAs that it just doesn't taste like a hazy IPA. We are very spoiled here in Chicago with hazy IPAs. It's just hard to put that much effort and resources into a hazy or double dry hopped IPA for a mass market to make it worth a 12 pack at $15.
Yep.
It's some of these 4 packs are $18 for these double dry hop hazy IPAs. There's just a lot that goes into it, and shelf stability for that. You can't putting that out there. That's a huge risk that you're probably not going to recoup the numbers on. And then the last one was the Mystery Haze that had Sabro, Zappa, Citra, and Zaka hops. And the mystery one was really good. I think that's the one that smelled like pineapple when we sampled it, if I'm not mistaken. But that was the Beer Hug family. Yeah, the Beer Hug family is, and I ended up picking up a mix pack of that the day afterward. We had talked about doing this episode, and we thought maybe we'd drink through some of these. But honestly, I'm just happy to have it. I put the mix pack in my garage beer fridge because that's where I'm going to keep them. And when I'm doing something as the weather gets nice, that's where I'm going to dip in there and grab an IPA, which is what I did today.
Yeah. Nice.
So those were a lot of fun, man. Those beers were very tasty. It was awesome to be able to sit there and talk to the brewers about, and the innovation team about
the process.
And how they chose these beers and why they chose these hops. And just it was a lot of fun. That part was cool to be able to talk about the like on the home brewing aspect.
Yeah, and from both of us, we didn't know kind of what to expect going in. You know, we thought we'd sit down, they'd give us a couple beers. Like I said, the Honkers Ale was like you said, the Honkers Ale was a nice surprise. But yeah, just like the vibe there was just so relaxed and super cool. And it was Todd, Mike, and Quinn were the guys kind of leading the discussion. The bonus for fanboys,
I was going to say with special
us,
guest,
John Hall was there.
This is what. Yeah. Sorry, I spoke over you. Who was there?
Yeah. John Hall. John Hall, the founder of Goose Island. Probably I don't want to say like the patriarch of like barrel-aged beers, but probably.
Absolutely. Nope, that's it. That you nail on the head right there, man. I mean, that's like for the most nerdiest beer thing that you and I could have experienced. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. You know, like Goose Island has it is an integral part of why craft beer is so big in Chicago. Especially, I mean, even for this podcast. I mean, we've had so many episodes.
We started on Bourbon County, basically.
On Bourbon County. I mean, like you and I have me, you, and Clark. Dan, sorry, I'm not necessarily leaving you out, but like the three of us have just had so many encounters with Goose Island and Bourbon County. Like, this is a big deal for us. So it was awesome. It was really cool to finally like get to see the man in flesh.
Yeah, and I told Tony I had met him years prior at a 312 event, but just in passing, like, you know, I was in the VIP area at the time and was like kind of walking by and saw him and I was like, I need to take a picture with him. Somebody grabbed my phone, took a picture, and we said our hellos and we were on our way. But it was just super cool to him, like, you know, him talking about like the Beer Hug series, about how it, you know, how Goose Island.
He wasn't even supposed to be there. Also,
no, yeah.
By the way,
he asked. He wandered into the brew pub, as they said, early in the morning, and was just, you know, chatting up people as he does. And they had told him there was an event, and he's like, "Well, I'd like to come." And they said, "Well, why would we say no to you?" So he was there, and it was awesome. And he was talking about like the early days of Goose. He's like, we didn't know anything. We were just brewing traditional German styles. And then he made the correlation of like how French food and Italian food all came from Italy. And then these chefs just kind of put their flair on it. What'd you say?
You said how French food and Italian food came from Italy. And I said, and France.
Well, French food,
you
know, well, food comes from their countries. And then and then the chefs and the chefs in America kind of put their spin on it. And he's like, that's kind of how they looked at beer. Like, to put their spin on it. And that's what they did. And, you know.
I mean, that's how we ended up with Honkers. Like, that was a good segue into the whole evening, you know, and it was really cool. So that first part for me and Brandon, like that, I'm hope I can speak on your behalf. Like, that was just, that itself would have been sufficient enough. Like, that was so cool for us to be there, to be able to talk, and there was a whole bunch of other people around us. Plus, they also did provide some pretty good food, so that was kind of a bonus.
We got food at the beginning, and then I was just like terrified of going back to get food because I didn't want to miss anything. Like,
right,
and literally,
I also did.
John Hall was standing in front of us, and I was like, we're gonna be here as good students and listening, and
we're here to learn.
Yeah.
So once we got during that or right before the intermission, I forgot who we were speaking to, but like there was somebody else we started talking to. Was that John?
No, John came over to talk to us about the Shandy stuff.
No, I know. Who else? Who were all the people that were there?
Todd, Mike, and Quinn.
Who came to speak to us?
I believe Mike.
Was it Mike?
I believe so.
Possibly. Sorry, you know what, you guys? If we fucked up who was who, we're bad with names. And we started talking about, you know, different hop varieties and where their hops were coming from, and that was before we ended up talking to, I forget which the brewer was. And then we took a little break and we came back. That's when we got into the shandies, and so as you guys know, shandy is pretty much a wheat beer blended with lemonade, and there's a ton of different shandies out there. There's some that are sweet, some that are bitter, some that are sour. Shandy is a really nice.
Take it back. I think it was Quinn. Because
it was Quinn.
All right. This is Myke.
Yeah, it was with Quinn.
Yeah.
There we go. Right. It was with Quinn. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Quinn.
So we spoke to Quinn.
We did talk to Myke too a little bit, but
no, we did. We talked to everybody.
Yeah.
We did talk to everybody. We're just terrible with names, and now we're doing this 3 days later after drinking some beer. So you got to bear with us. The shandy line. So a wheat beer blended with lemonade. That's a shandy. 312 shandy is 312 blended with natural flavorings, as we learned, which they did source out to. It's not just some shitty whatever natural flavoring cheapest thing that you can get. They did say that they sourced it. They tried very different ones. Yeah, they dug into it. We're not sure who it is, but I will say that I'm pretty sure I posted it on our Instagram last year when I tried the 312 shandy for the first time, and it was really good. I did like it. It's nice. It's refreshing. And then they added the strawberry and grapefruit to the mix pack. Now I do know for 312 Day they had a bunch of like crazy shit, man. They had like pomegranate and I think watermelon, a whole bunch of other. I'm sure it was like R&D shit that they just thrown out for 312 Day. But strawberry shandy and grapefruit shandy are the two that are now part of the mix pack that you can get right now. Brandon, what were your takes on the strawberry and grapefruit shandy?
I loved this.
Well, and just the regular 312 shandy.
Yeah, so they're all great. And it actually, and I said this there, I was like, this was a natural progression for me, going from the lemonade, the grapefruit to the strawberry, because they got progressively better. And I felt like the strawberry was the best because it was there wasn't even a hint of beer for me. Like it was literally drinking like a strawberry Fanta or something like that, like strawberry soda, and it was just super good and super clean. The grapefruit was good too. What I did get with the grapefruit was I felt like there was a little bit of lemon in there. Like it kind of felt like it was a blend of like the lemon shandy and the grapefruit. I don't know. I think grapefruit's kind of hard to get. And I don't know if like flavoring companies kind of mask that, but I do feel like it was a natural progression for me. 312 was great. The 312 shandy, lemonade shandy was great. Grapefruit was really great, and then super great for the strawberry. And I'm not normally.
That was a great. It's like you got lost in your own thought for a second there. That was great.
But it's not even. And I'm not even like a super shandy guy, but like
No, same here, man. I'm not a huge.
But I can appreciate a good like because I love Radler. Love
Stiegel's fucking Radler. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, Stiegel Radler.
That's where I got introduced to that.
Fucking 3% grapefruit and beer. Like my wife loves that shit too, man. I love Stiegel Radler. It's so good.
That in a while. I'm gonna have to get
and having these shandies, like I did like the shandy last year. I'm with you. It went for me. Actually, I would go grapefruit in the beginning because I like grapefruit IPAs. Grapefruit IPAs to me, like Ballast Point when they did their what was their
grapefruit Sculpin?
Sculpin, yeah, grapefruit Sculpin, which was fucking really good. And then they got fucking greedy and were charging $15 for a 6-pack when they didn't need to. I'm sorry,
by Kings and Convicts.
Yeah, well, that was after at the sale to whoever was before fucking Kings and Convicts because they whatever. That and my rant right there. I was not paying. I tried it once. I was like, this is fucking amazing, and it was $15 for a 6-pack, and I said, not that amazing. It's like $13. The grapefruit shandy to me was probably my least favorite.
Okay,
and it's not that it was bad. I just didn't like it as much as the regular shandy. The strawberry shandy, that's the one I was talking up to people the next day at work and my wife. It is, like you said, strawberry font. It's like strawberry soda.
Yep.
In the best / worst way possible because it is an alcoholic beverage.
Agreed.
If you like sweet and strawberry, not like overly sweet, but if you like sweet and tart and refreshing. I mean, I think that's when John Hall was talking with us. I felt like he was talking to you more than he was talking to us, by the way, about the shandies.
Well, it's because of the question
that
I posed. So
yeah, exactly. About the natural flavorings and stuff. Like, and that's when we talked to him about, like, you know, how to get strawberry into a beer, which you and I had tried to do with the Frankenberry wheat beer with the Frankenberry cereal, and then we use frozen strawberries. Like, getting strawberry flavor in there with real strawberries is tough when it comes to the homebrew side. Natural flavoring, we've come such a long way, and that's what we were talking about with John. Like, just with ingredients in general, we've come such a long way for homebrewers where you can get quality products and be able to make what you want to get in a homebrew, like adding strawberry.
Up to the level of like a commercial brewery.
Absolutely. Yeah. The strawberry one for me was my favorite. It was kind of surprising. I thought I was going to love the grapefruit one the most because I like grapefruit in beverages. I don't like grapefruit itself. I won't eat grapefruit, but grapefruit in beers and alcoholic beverages, I love it. I think it's so good. So yeah, the strawberry shandy was, oh man, so good. I am going to grab that mix pack tomorrow. It just because, I mean, that's the thing I told John. I was like, between Revolution's, mixed Freedom packs and with their lemonades, I think they're coming out with other lemonades this year from what I was kind of reading. Their sour pack might do a lemonade pack this year. So I don't know what the Freedom's going to be, but if that's included, I mean, it's just a refreshing summer in Chicago. I mean, these shandies and the sour beers are just, what a nice way to enjoy a beer in hot weather when you're just hanging out with friends and family.
Agreed.
It's awesome. All right, hey, before we move on to the last 5 beers, let's take a quick break.
Yep. Good, because
there's sirens in my background, baby.
And I gotta go to the bathroom.
Cool, me too. Well, hey, man. What's up?
And we're back!
We are back. Man, that was a long break. For us, not for anybody else. It's a standard break. I was unprepared. I was texting somebody during the break. So I was trying to bring up some of the pictures at least of what we were drinking following that. So we went through the Beer Hugs family, and then we did the shandies, and then we got to move on to some barrel-aged fun stuff, because when we were invited, we were told that we were going to do the Beer Hugs and the shandy and then maybe some other stuff. So we were met with some fun surprises. The first one we got to try was the Tepache Sunset. which is a tepache-inspired ale. And it's an ale aged in tequila barrels with pineapple juice, orange juice, and tamarind puree added. So a tepache, from what we were told, and I did not look this up, if we had, one of these guys, we're supposed to look up information for us because we can't do it. They could have found this for us beforehand. I believe it's a fermented beverage that is with pineapple juice and orange juice and tamarind.
I think it's normally so what it says
rinds, right?
is a fermented beverage made from the peel and the rind of pineapples and is sweetened either with piloncillo or brown sugar and seasoned with powdered cinnamon and served cold.
Well, this was fucking delicious.
Yeah.
This might have been one of my favorite drinks of the night. Going off of, Beer Hugs being a nice mixed IPA pack to have whenever, but the Shandy beers are obviously, springtime, warm. Those are warm weather drinks, in my opinion, the Shandies. This falls in that same category, and though it says it is a tequila barrel-aged beer, I believe it's only like 5%, 5.5%. It's not a high ABV beer, so it didn't spend a lot of time in those barrels. This was refreshing, man. This was like almost drinking like a pineapple orange juice, like a pineapple orange juice blend. It was really, really good. The tequila barrels didn't really pop, which is fine. But there was that citrus, there's a citrus flavor that you get from tequila. At least that's what I get. Many people don't like tequila. There's this citrus flavor that is from tequila, and I think that worked really well. It was really tasty, man. It was very good. I really did enjoy that beer. How did you feel about it?
That was one of my favorites of the night. And it was shocking because I wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't expecting to necessarily, like, when they said what it was, and I was like, this sounds weird. I don't know if I'm going to like it. But I had it, and that's a good beer, and that is, we may have said it there, like, just kind of jokingly, but like, this is a beer you can have on a summer day.
Yep, we got in the malting hour tagline right there. It is a beer that you can drink on a summer day, and it really is. I'm looking forward to that release. I don't know when it's coming out. I think it's soon. I don't know if it's an Onzer or whatever release they're going to do with that, but when that comes out, I still haven't tried their cocktails. I know Clark has tried some or at least one of their cocktails. Something I definitely want to... That is also something that Bottles and Cans... or not Bottles and Cans, Beer on the Wall had. Actually, I think Bottles and Cans has it as well. But as far as like building your own mixed pack, those mixed cocktails are available. That's something we do need to maybe go and get. We really could just grab all three, one can each, and just go through it, split them between the three of us, four of us, whoever's there to try it. But yeah, that was very good. I'm looking forward to having that this year, and I think a lot of people will enjoy that. Don't sleep on that one, you guys. Get it if you can, if it's available.
Super refreshing for a beer.
Yeah. The next one was their small batch. I think it's just called Small Batch 4, which is a part of their barrel aged beers that they released. They've been doing now since last year, if I'm not mistaken. They started doing small batch bourbon barrel aged beers. And this one was a 2-year aged bourbon barrel aged wheat wine.
Yep.
So they took a wheat wine and barrel aged it for 2 years. Do you remember did they say what barrels they were in? I did not take notes of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The hop notes. They may have, but at this point we were feeling pretty good. We were a few beers in at this point. This one to me reminded me of having like toffee butterscotch candy. Clark is not a fan of the bourbon barrel aged wheat wine. I don't think he liked the wheat wine. I do think he would like this one because it was like, dude, that was like liquid candy. It was very good. Carbonation on it was so good. you really got this rich barrel characteristics of like vanilla, like I said, caramel.
Yeah, like all the good stuff you want from the barrel came through.
Oh yeah, and it's just, oh man, nice body on it. It was not too thick. It wasn't too sweet. I mean, it's a sweet drink. It is on the cusp of being almost too sweet, but it just kind of cuts off. The amount that we had was perfect. And you have a bottle of this, correct?
I do.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to have again. And I say that because I'm assuming I will probably drink it with you. I don't think you're going to just down that one to yourself. Although you could, because it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they have any more of these left. Fuck, I'm upset that I missed out on... Not that I missed out, but I chose not to buy it. It was really good. It was really, really good.
Agreed.
That might have been my favorite beer of the night, to be honest.
Yeah, is going into the barrel, like, that was amazing. And I was shocked about how much I liked it. And not that how much I liked it, but just how much flavor came through, you know.
It was so tasty. It was so tasty.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody, I finished my Bourbon County and I've worked my way on to drinking a cherry-flavored bubbly carbonated water because I need to hydrate after all of the delicious beers I've had on this Saturday night.
It's okay. And then we moved in.
Sorry, just throwing it out there, man. Just throwing it out there.
And then we moved on to the peaches and cream, right? Yeah, that was...
Yes, which was a peach and vanilla adjunct wheat wine?
I think so. I think it's kind of the same the same flavor profile.
I think but it wasn't aged for 2 years. It was a barrel aged wheat wine that had peaches and cream. What did you think about that one?
I liked it. It like, I don't feel like I got peaches and cream. I think I got more cream than peaches.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
It was like a creamy wheat wine.
There was hints of peaches, but not. It didn't stand out. I do know that bottle's still there. I would like to get it to have it again.
Yeah.
Without having all the other beers that we had beforehand, because maybe our palates were wrecked at that point, man. I mean, we had hoppy, we had tart, and then we had rich, decadent wheat wine. I mean, there's a lot to follow that up with.
Yeah,
that's rough. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool the fact that what they brought out were, the Tepache Sunrise, which is basically a not sessionable, but a beer type barrel aged beer that was like juice. Like, that is juice forward. Pineapple and orange. It's delicious, man. I mean,
and you
can have, if you want to have a barrel aged breakfast beer, that's it.
And that would be good in a mimosa.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if you don't want a mimosa, that's the type of, like, you just drink that instead of a mimosa. That's kind of it. It's not as light and crisp as a mimosa, but fuck, you get real close to it for a breakfast brunch beer right there.
Yeah. I was gonna say something and I totally forgot. Oh yeah, like, just that in itself was just so flavor forward, and the carbonation was just right on it. That, like, yeah, that's kind of where I came up with, like, you could do that instead of a mimosa.
Absolutely, like that. When that comes out, we got to get it, and then we have a brunch, and that's what we drink.
I feel like they may have had it there. I don't know, but I feel like I saw somebody walking away with a 6-pack of that, and I was like, what?
Well, let's look into that and let's get some. Honestly, I mean, because that's something I feel like can also sit in my fridge, and I don't have to drink it right away, so to speak. I'm not going to age it, but that's something to, like, hold on to and have for a special occasion. So we got through those 3 barrel-aged beers. Brandon, I know you're looking up to see if that's available, so I appreciate that. We, at that point, they had said, hey, we have one more surprise, and if people need to leave, we understand. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We were then treated Brandon and I, of course, stayed. I mean, it was our first time being invited to a Goose Island Chicago media event. We're going to stick around if they said they have something else. The next beers we got to sample were a huge surprise because it was a collaboration that we didn't know was happening. At least I didn't know was happening. Brandon, did you know this collaboration was happening?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, because I did hear something about seeing someone at a brewery. So I had no idea this was happening, but we didn't know that this is what we were going to be treated to. It is the collaboration between Goose Island and Microphone Brewing, Microphone out there in Elk Grove. This was, it's called, so if you don't know about Microphone's beers are all music-based, whether it be songs, artists, albums, every single beer that they released is music-based, and they do a lot of big beers, a lot of exciting beers. They definitely stray away from traditional styles, but they do nail the styles that they do. So I feel like the combination of having Goose Island and Microphone together kind of makes sense. So the collaboration that they did is called Double LP, which right there, that makes a lot of sense because Microphone does all their music stuff. So Double LP is the collaboration between Microphone and Goose Island. And what Goose Island did was, let me pull this up right now. Their beer is a Imperial Stout aged in 10-year-old Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels with maple syrup and natural flavors added. So the collaboration part is that they used... Do you know the maple place that Microphone uses?
No, but they said it was a Chicago-based maple place.
Yes. We should have had that ahead of time. Damn it. Oh, well. That's not how we do the show. But they use the same maple syrup source that Microphone uses. And Microphone uses the maple, I believe, in Smells Like Bean Spirit Maple. That is the maple syrup that they use in that and maybe other beers. But that is the maple syrup source that Goose Island used for this Imperial Stout that was aged in 10-year-old Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels. This beer was really, really good, and there are some maple bourbon barrel-aged beers out there that I feel like are just too sweet for me personally. And maple syrup is a tough thing to use in a big beer, mainly because it's a sugar that can be fermented out, so how do you get that maple syrup flavor in a beer?
To stay.
Yeah, exactly. You stop fermentation or you use other things to get that maple syrup in there, which is why this says there are natural flavors added as well. So there is some form of maple syrup in there. I don't know if the maple sweetness comes from the maple syrup or the natural flavors that Goose Island added in there, but this stout was really, really good. And I think Brandon and I were both super excited that Buffalo Trace was the barrel that they aged us in because Brandon and I are big fans of Buffalo Trace.
We enjoy that bourbon. Yeah.
Very, very good. Brandon, what did you think of this beer?
It was great. I felt like the maple came through pretty straightforward, but it added, it wasn't overly sweet. It added that just hint of sweetness along with along with the barrel character.
Yeah, we're getting to that time of the episode and that time of night, everybody.
That the sweetness and the barrel character came through kind of equally, and it was just so good. It was the way they were presented was very good. I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, it was really good. And there are a bunch of little Easter eggs on there. The description is it looks like there's suds on the can. The Goose Island one is brown and white with the Goose Island logo on there, and on the back it's like a smear in the foam of the state outline of Illinois, and it says Double LP, and this is side A, and it is 13.4% alcohol. So the next can that we got to sample from, same deal. Also, the Goose Island one, it looks like the Suds of Illinois are like spraying towards the left with the liquid. And then on the microphone one, which is blue and white, it looks like the suds and the liquid are spraying towards the right. So they're going into each other. So the microphone, like the cans are brown and white and blue and white. The Goose Island brown and white, the microphone blue and white. Did I say that right? Brown, white, and blue, yes. So the microphone one, double LP, is an English barley wine aged in 10-year-old Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels, and this is side B, and it's 14.58% ABV. And what they got to do was use Goose Island's house yeast for this barley wine, which to me is, I don't know of any other collaboration between other breweries where one brewery gave another brewery their house yeast.
I mean, I'm sure it's happened and not talked about, but I mean, we were told about it.
But I mean, like, most collaborations are like, you're not trading the yeast. It's just
you're brewing it at somebody's place,
right? Yeah. If Brewery A and Brewery B are brewing together at Brewery B's place, they're going to use their house yeast.
Yep.
This was Microphone brewed a barley wine and got to use the house yeast at maybe Microphone from Goose Island. That's awesome. That's a very, to me, that's a very unique way to collaborate. So basically, Goose Island used a source of maple syrup that Microphone used, and Microphone got to use Goose Island's house yeast for their English barley wine, which was aged again in 10-year-old Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels. So both beers are aged in Buffalo Trace barrels. Now, what they told us in the beginning, and I don't know if Brandon, you and I caught it, was that these beers are almost supposed to be blended together.
Yep.
Correct? So while we were talking with the guys from Chicago Beer Pass and Mike Zoller from Porch Drinking, and was it Quinn who we were talking to?
Somebody.
Actually, all those guys were there at that point.
Yeah.
So all of us were sitting there talking, and then we realized, oh shit, we're supposed to blend this, and we all poured it together. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we all agreed that was
the way to go.
Super, dude. A barley wine, a barrel-aged barley wine, and a barrel-aged stout coming together in a single glass was really, really good. And this will be debuted at Beer Under the Glass for the VIP people who got tickets. I believe that was the case. So I don't know when this will actually be released, but I will say that I am looking forward to buying these.
I'm on board with you. Both of those beers were fantastic. And I even said there, like, when I blended them, like, blending is the way to go. Like, that's
absolutely
just you get a good drink. But separately, they were also like good beers to sip on.
Yeah, it'd be nice to crack open, the stout and drink through it or share it, and then crack open one of the barley wines and drink through and share it, or just crack open one can of each, pour half into one glass, half in the other, and blend it just like that and have it, as is. I mean, that's a lot. That's a big undertaking for one evening if you're going to do all that, do one or the other. But man, that was a really fun surprise for the end of the evening.
Yeah, and it was us, a couple other folks in Chicago Beer Pass, kind of hanged back, and Mike Zoller. But like the majority of the room was gone at that time, and it was just nice to have that intimate setting and like talking to Todd, Mike, and Quinn. John had left by that time.
Yeah, we tried to get a picture with him.
Yeah, we tried.
Well, we didn't actually try it. We wanted to get a picture with him.
Yeah, and then I saw him leaving, and I was like, oh no. But
that's it.
We had a good time, like just talking about these. It was phenomenal. It kind of blew me away that they had that. I was not expecting that. I knew that beer had been done and they were kind of coming to the end of it, and I wasn't expecting it to be presented to us, but they did. And holy shit, man! Like, super cool. And glad we got to try it. Like,
yeah, totally, man. I mean, now
first.
Now now we got to try before the Beer Under the Glass.
There's things that happen on this podcast that we're proud of, but like we got an exclusive first look at 2 beers.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it really, the whole evening kind of solidified for Brandon and I. Like we were big nerds walking out of Goose Island that night because we've done this, like I said, doing this podcast now for 3 years, and this was kind of an exciting experience for us. This is something that we've been striving for and working for, so this is it. We felt like we kind of did a "we made it" type deal.
Yes.
We made it, baby, and we're real. So yeah, it was really cool, and we're looking forward to hopefully more things and bringing Dan and Clark along if they let us. Which I think they know. Like, I think they went back and listened to episodes and heard what kind of person Clark is, and they were like, absolutely not. And maybe they like Dan, but they just didn't want to tag him on there. You know what I mean? So the invite literally said Tony and Brandon. Sorry, guys, we love you. No, I think I do feel like that was it was a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to doing more of these things. With Goose Island. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? We love doing our little show regardless because we get to drink beer with our friends and hang out and drink beer. How many times can I say drink beer? Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was super cool, and you guys might hear some more about some of these other beers in the future. Because I have the Tropical Beer Hug mix pack. I want to grab the Shandy mix pack. Brandon's got that 2-year. I will say that 2-year wheat wine will probably make its way somewhere on here.
It will.
Whether it's a recording or you just see a picture of it. But I think I need to grab that peaches and cream. I got to grab that peaches and cream. I think we need to try it.
Yeah, if they have it, we should. Just to do it.
Absolutely. Well, man, that was a fun experience. I'm done with my Bourbon County, and I've moved on to carbonated water. And I think my Saturday night is going to come to an end here. No, it's like more jovial. What's the opposite of that?
I mean, the time of the hour it is, it's probably appropriate.
Sounds good. Hey, man, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, bud.
Thanks, guys, for listening, and thank you, Goose Island, for having us out for this. Invite us back, please. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untappd as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untappd under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.